Hi, this is Rosetta, founder of HappyBlackWoman.com, where I help women create lives of happiness, success, and freedom. And today I want to talk about freedom, your freedom. I am here in my courtyard in Honolulu, Hawaii, and I just finished my afternoon walk. So I'm in my sport clothes, no makeup, no filter. I'm just coming to you raw and real today to speak about freedom. And this topic has been on my mind because it's getting close to the 4th of July here in the United States. It's a big holiday, and people like to talk about freedom and the freedoms that we have in this country and all of that. And I'm not going to get into politics because I think, it's all it's all too much right now. So we're not talking about politics. We're talking about you. We're talking about your freedom. So I titled this this live stream, do you really want to be free? Your path to liberation starts now, because we talk a lot in our Happy Black Woman tribe about freedom and how everybody wants to be free. They want to do all these things with their lives, and they want to be these free, liberated women living happy lives. And there's just always these certain things holding us back, especially as Black women. So I know that my topics attract a lot of different people, but really my work is for Black women primarily. If you want to be here, you got to play nice in my live stream, because that's who this is for, right? So what I want to talk about is the first question: do you really want to be free? So when I talk about freedom, when I mention freedom, I mean that literally we are not enslaved anymore. Literally, we are not enslaved. We can do whatever we want to do. Technically, we can go wherever we want to go. We can travel the globe. Our passport gets us into all these different places. And yet, we say we want to travel, and so many of us are afraid to travel. We don't do it. We have things on our bucket list that we don't cross off. We have the freedom to do any kind of business that we want. And yet, so many of us want to quit our jobs and start businesses. We don't do it. So I want to talk about, do you really want to be free? Because there are some things that are required for you to take advantage of the freedom that you have. So first of all, we all have freedom, right? We have freedoms that we have more freedoms now than we ever had before. And yet, for some reason, many of us do not take advantage of those freedoms. So I believe that there is a big difference between being free and being liberated. I believe there's a big difference between being free and being liberated. So when we talk about freedom, we know that we're free. We know that we're not in physical shackles. We're not in slavery. We have the freedom to do whatever we want. But at the same time, if we're not liberated up here, then we don't take advantage of our own freedom. It's our mindset. It's the way that we think about ourselves. It's what we believe about ourselves that prevents us from taking advantage of our freedom. And so that's what I want to talk about today. So there's this quote that I posted on my Facebook page recently, and it says, there's two that I post a lot. And one says, having the freedom to do whatever you want means nothing if you're not brave enough to do whatever you want. Right? Having the freedom to do whatever you want means nothing if you're not brave enough to actually do what it is that you want to do. And then the other quote that I share on my page, it says, freedom is knowing that you can do whatever you want with your life and no one can stop you but you. And so whenever I share those, I get so many comments and messages that people know that, but they're still stuck in that place, that they know they can do whatever they want. You know that you're grown. If you're watching this live stream, you're grown. You're probably over the age of 21. Many of you are well over that age, right? I'm well over the age of 21. And we know we're grown women. We are grown women. And yet in our actions, we don't necessarily play that out. In our actions, we behave as if there are certain things that we cannot do. There are certain things that are not possible for us. And even in your language, you say those types of things. And I know because I used to say those same things. And when I talk about, your path to liberation, has to begin with your mindset. Your path to liberation has to begin with what you believe about yourself. So knowing that you have the freedom to do whatever you want is one thing intellectually, but you have to actually believe that you can do whatever you want before you will do it. So for me, what I can say is that my path to liberation began late 2009. I was in a PhD program, and I was in this PhD program to become Dr. Thurman because, not necessarily because I wanted to go through the rigorous training of becoming a doctor, getting my doctorate. And I know some of you are doing that, and there's no knock on doctors. I have a lot of clients who are PhDs. But for me, the reason I wanted to become Dr. Thurman was because I thought it would validate me. I thought that I needed to be Dr. Thurman for people to listen to me, and I needed to have that to be able to write a book and go speaking everywhere. And I thought, I've got to get a PhD so that people will listen to me, they'll take me seriously. And I started to realize at the end of 2009, I was not enjoying the process. I'm like, why do I have to go through all this and pay all this money? Going through a PhD program is no joke. I mean, it's a lot of money you invest. It's a lot of your time. I had no life. And I'm like, why am I doing this? And I had to get really real with myself and ask, Rosetta, why do you believe that you need this validation? What if you just started speaking and writing and, write your book and all those different things and just do it? So for a lot of us, we think you have to take all these steps, all these 10, 12, 25 steps before we can do what we want to do. And I was there. I thought that I had to get a PhD. I thought I had to get this recognition and this validation before I could do what I wanted to do, which was to inspire people by speaking, through teaching, through writing books and creating programs and things like that. And when I got clear that the only validation I needed was my own, I was able to do all those things and more without a PhD. And again, I'm not saying that having a PhD is bad or negative or you shouldn't do it, but for me, what I found was that I was using it as a stamp of approval. Like I needed a stamp of approval to do the things I wanted to do. So again, intellectually, I know that I'm free. I can do whatever I want to do. But in my mind, I wasn't liberated yet. I wasn't liberated enough to know that I can do whatever I want with my life and no one can stop me. Who's going to stop me from writing a book? Nobody. Who's going to stop me from speaking? Nobody. I can speak on the corner if I want to. I can go walk around the mall speaking and motivating people if I want to. Who's going to stop me? No one. If I want to teach people what I know, I can get online like I am right now. I don't need a PhD to do that. No one is going to stop me but me. So I started to get in my mind that, you know what? I don't need validation from anyone else except myself. I don't need anyone else's approval except the approval of myself. So I don't do these live streams to get approval. I don't do these live streams. I don't do any of the work that I do to get approval or likes or whatever. I do it so that I can help people. If there's just one person on this live stream that is being helped by what I'm saying, I've done my job. I've fulfilled my purpose. I am, walking in the space I'm supposed to walk in on this earth. I don't do it to be internet famous or to be popular on Facebook. I really, honestly do not care about that. The reason that I'm here is because this is where you guys are. This is where I can have a space and a platform to share what I know and what I've learned. And so that's what I mean by there's a difference between freedom and liberation, is that you can intellectually know you have the freedom to do what you want with your life, but until you get liberated here, to know without a doubt that you are limitless. You are limitless. There are no limits to what you can do. You will always be held back by yourself. And it will look like, and you will believe that other people are holding you back. You will believe that it's other people around you that are preventing you from reaching your goals. You will believe that it's because your friends don't want to travel. That's why you don't travel. And all of these look like plausible explanations for why you're not taking action or living the life you want to live. And the reality is that it's all in your head. It's all in your belief system. If you tell me, and people tell me all the time, the things that they want to do, and I ask them, well, why aren't you doing those things? I can tell you right away what your belief system is like. I can tell when you don't believe in yourself, and you can tell too. So when I ask you, do you really want to be free? It's an invitation for you to consider, are you willing to do the inner work on your mindset to change your beliefs about yourself? And there are a lot of ways to do that. One of the biggest ways to change your mindset is through affirmations, to start to train your brain to believe something different. Just like in school, you learned by repetition, you learned your multiplication tables. I mean, that's what I learned when I was in school. We got some new math going on now. I don't even know what the math is called now. I couldn't help anybody with their homework at this point. I don't know. Do we still do times tables? But we learned by repeating things, and it got into our psyche. Unfortunately, we also have learned negative things about ourselves, especially as Black women, that we can't do certain things if we're too young, too old, too skinny, too fat. You didn't come from a certain area. You grew up in a certain place. You made some mistakes when you were young. Your family did things to you that were wrong. We grow up, hearing these messages and internalizing them, and that also affects our ability to be liberated. But the first thing that you have to just tell yourself and commit to is that, yes, I do want to be free. And I got to that point late 2009 where I said, I want to know without a doubt that I can do whatever I want with my life. And so I do affirmations. I did start a meditation practice, really anything that I could try and get my hands on to retrain my brain to really get clear on who I was and what I was capable of, despite what other people around me are doing. And for some of you have to get away from, people. There's nobody holding a gun to your head telling you have to hang out with Susie and Joe who aren't doing anything with their lives. So affirmations, keeping your environment clear, getting quiet within yourself so that you can know the truth about you. No one else knows the truth about you except you. So there are people around you who will tell you things about yourself that are actually lies. When people tell you that you can't do something or you're not capable of doing something, that's a lie. That's a straight up lie. And it's not that people are trying to be malicious most of the time. It's just that they don't believe that for themselves. So how can they believe that for you? And sometimes we have that great friend who, even though she doesn't believe in herself, she believes in you, and that's rare. But for the most part, it's people that do not believe in themselves, and so there's no way that they can believe that you can create abundance in your life. You can create these beautiful things in your life because they are not free. They are not liberated. And so they cannot help you or walk with you on your path to liberation, because it requires a complete mindset shift. And I actually don't know what's going on with with Facebook Live lately, because now I can't see your comments. So I'm going to trust that the live stream is still working, because I'm really in the zone today thinking about what it takes for us to be liberated and what it took for me. And I wanted to share today, as I was thinking about this topic, because it was taking me a long time to write it down in a blog post, to be honest. I was like, I'm just going to hop on the live stream and talk about it, and we can continue to explore this topic within our community. So when I started to recognize that I didn't need anybody else's validation, what I started to do was look around my life and evaluate what are the things that I really wanted to do. And one of the things that I did was I went natural. I had always wanted to wear my hair natural. I was living in DC at the time, and I I would always see my friends and these beautiful black women walking around, and they had their locks and their afros and all of this. And I wanted that, but I was afraid. I was afraid of what people would think. I was afraid of what my boyfriend would think. I had all these crazy thoughts that had nothing to do with what I wanted. So I said, I'm going to go natural. So I started the process. I started transitioning, and then I just did the big chop. I just chopped off all my damn hair, and I started wearing a teeny weeny afro. And my boyfriend at the time did not like that. And we ended up breaking up, actually, arguing over my hair. And I just realized that, I can do whatever I want to do. And however I want to wear my hair is how I wear my hair. And for some other cultures, it's not a big deal, like how you wear your hair. But as a black woman, it is a big deal for whatever reason of how we wear our hair. And so for me, it was a big deal. As part of my own path to liberation, to really take a stand and say, you know what, I can wear my hair however I want. And people in my family were calling me all kind of names and nappy head, and I didn't know if they were joking or being serious. It was like half and half. And I would do my hair in these little twists to make it more textured and look full and all that, and people would talk about me. And because they had never seen me with my hair like that. They'd always see my hair, laid and relaxed and all that. And again, nothing wrong with that. But for me, it was not authentic to who I was. I wanted to be natural, but I was holding myself back with all these things in my head. Like, what are people going to think of me? What are people going to think about how I look? And what I came to was the realization, and I did the big chop, and it was like the most freeing thing. I walked around that day, and I was just like, I can feel like every hair on my head. It was so incredible for me. And it just started me down this path again. Every decision that I made that was in service to my truth and for what I wanted to do really helped me make the next decision. So I was like, this is something I've always wanted to do. And finally, I'm getting over myself and, just not caring what people think about how I look. If you have a certain way you want me to wear my hair, then we're not a good match. As a romantic partner, as a friend, as a family member, like if you're going to sit there and have opinions about how I look, then we shouldn't even be having a conversation. So I just came to that point of, it's my life, and I'm the only one that gets to live it, and I'm the only one that has to live it, right? So that was another turning point for me beginning in 2010. And another turning point for me was quitting my job. I had a business I was running on the side, a little side hustle. I was doing speaking and consulting on the side, and I was really good at it, and I was getting really successful at it. It's just that I ran out of vacation days. I had to ask myself, do I want to do this full time? And was I ready? And did I think I could make it on my own? And this for me was like probably the final decision I made at that time that really allowed me to trust myself fully and trust my decisions fully. So what a lot of us do is we go around and we ask other people, what should I do? What do you think? Do you think this is possible? Do you think this is realistic? And we come to people who often, again, are not liberated themselves. And we ask them for advice on decisions, the decisions of a liberated black woman. And I did the same thing. I was talking to people about my decisions who were not liberated themselves. Not to say that they have to quit their job or whatever, but they had never done anything in their life that was scary or risky. And so that's what they told me. There are people that I told about my decision. They were like, are you sure you want to do that? The economy is terrible. And I'm like, when is the economy not terrible? Like, I mean, there's no good time to quit your job, right? There's never a perfect time to make that decision. So I made it because I wanted to make it, and I knew that I could do it deep within me. So even though there are fears, and even though you may have a perception that you're taking a risk, you just know, and you have a knowing that you can do this. You believe in yourself. I believed in myself, and yet here I was asking other people who didn't believe in themselves what I should do. I'm asking people in my family, I'm asking, friends, and, they worry for you. They worried for me. They had concern for me. And that's what families do. And friends do. They worry for you. They don't want you to suffer. They don't want you to fail. And so a lot of times they're going to say things that seem discouraging, but it's really coming out of a concern for you. And so when you talk to people who are fearful, they're going to give you an answer based on where they are. Maybe, they had some challenges when they tried to quit their job or do a business or travel the world or whatever, and they're just passing that fear on to you. And I had to recognize that whenever I want to make a decision, I don't need to consult with all these different people, because I know within myself, I know intellectually and in my heart that I can do whatever I want to do. And it was that decision that really let me know that if I can do this, I can do anything, right? If I can make it on my own. And a lot of us doubt that we can do things on our own, whether it's to work our business on our own, or even to leave a bad relationship and be on our own. But the truth is that if you've made it this far, you can go that next mile. You can go that next step on your terms. And so when I say that, a lot of times we need to be liberated up here, that's when we can get clear. That's when we can get clear that we are able to create life on our own terms, that we don't have to abide by anybody's terms. I don't care what the circumstances look like or what everyone else is doing. A really cool example, not cool for him, but cool for me, in one of the jobs that I had, I was always doing my best. I was always working hard. And so I felt like I deserved a raise, and I always asked for a raise. Yet my colleague, who had more experience than me, older than me, by all outward appearances should have been making more money than me, he never asked for a raise. He never got one. So a lot of times the only thing that holds us back is because we do not believe that we deserve it, and so we don't even ask. We don't even ask. So you're sitting at your job and you have the freedom to have whatever job you want, especially all my happy black women who have degrees. Like, you can write your own ticket in this world. You can write your own ticket in this world. If you're willing to negotiate for yourself, and you're willing to know that you're worth more than what a lot of these companies want to pay you, you have to walk in there knowing up here that you're worth it. And so knowing that you can create the life that you want on your own terms is what I mean by, your path to liberation starts now. So there may have been decisions that you've made or are making now or about to make now that are from a place of bondage, from a place of mental bondage, of being in your head, worrying about what other people think, or thinking that you need validation, when really you have to get into the space and get quiet and clear with yourself that you have the freedom to do whatever you want, and no one can stop you but you. No one can stop you from asking for a raise. No one can stop you from starting a business. And all the reasons that you think can stop you. Oh, you don't have funding, you don't have this, you don't have that. All of those are things that can be overcome if you believe that you can overcome them. You use them, though, as an excuse of why not to do it. It's not a reason why not to do it. It's just one thing you have to tick off the list as you go down this path and down this journey. It's not easy. And I always get, from you guys as comments is like, well, you make it sound so easy. I'm not saying that it's easy. I never said it was easy. Those words have never come out of my mouth. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The journey is worth it. Look, you're gonna work hard anyway. You're gonna work hard anyway. So why not work hard to create the life that you really want? And if you really want to be free, and freedom, again, meaning for me that you can do whatever you want with your life and no one can stop you. You want to live in a certain place, you can live there. You want to have a certain business, you can have it. You want to walk in your purpose and do specific work in the world to help people and make a difference, you can do that. You can have whatever you want. You can buy whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want, whenever you want. I know from experience that these things are possible for you. But it all starts with liberating your mind up here. So that's my message for today. I feel like I just had all this pent up energy around the topic, and it kind of let it out. I released it. So I want to see if I can get some comments just to hear, how that resonated with you, just that concept. I'm going to try to show you. I'm going to switch my camera around to see if that works. But no, it doesn't seem like that does anything. So hopefully I can see your comments later. What I will say is, I want to tell you how you can connect with me and join my tribe. So I am building a tribe, and I have been building a tribe of happy Black women over the last 5-6 years, and we're really taking our community to another level over the next year. And if you want to be a part of a tribe of women, particularly Black women who are living liberated lives and who are creating liberated lives, lives of abundance, lives of meaning, lives that leave a legacy, lives where people look at us and they get inspired. They look at us and they say, if she can do it, then I can do it. If you want to be a part of a group of women like that, I invite you to join me. You can go to happyblackwoman.com and sign up for my free life mapping workbook, and you'll be added to our email list, and you'll get notifications about our upcoming events. We also have a private Facebook group you can join if you want to start connecting with women who are like that, who are like you, and they do want to be free, and they are ready for their path to liberation, and they are doing the work on their mindset to be able to become the kind of woman who can live that life and inspire other people with the life that she's living. You can get to the Facebook group by going to happyblackwomantribe.com, happyblackwomantribe.com. I'm wondering if I can make a comment. No, I cannot make a comment. I think my comments is just frozen, and I don't know what to do about it. So if you go to happyblackwomantribe.com, you can join our private Facebook group, and it's just for women. There's no guys allowed in there, so don't even ask. Don't even ask. We don't allow guys in there because they always say crazy things. Sorry. So so you can join our private Facebook group, and then if you know that you want some support on your path to liberation, and you know that you want and need a mentor, and you think maybe I'm the person to help you down that path, you can message me right here on Facebook through the Happy Black Woman page, and we can direct you to some programs, tools, trainings that we may have to support you and to serve you. So it has been a pleasure being with you today, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening, day, whenever you're watching this for our replayers. And again, if you want to join my tribe, you can find out everything at happyblackwoman.com. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.